Welcome to the Masters Championship Podcast. I'm Daniel Wilson. Well, this is the final day, and we will find out who will be the champion of this year's tournament. We got a lot to go through today, so let's get right into it. We'll start with the ninth place game. So this is the game between Great Britain and Haiti. So two teams that are not in the running for a medal this year, but a consolation game. And something for Haiti to be happy about. They've been struggling to score this whole tournament in their first ever Masters tournament, and they finally did it. Take a look at this. They are happily celebrating this win. Ends up with a 6-2 victory, their first ever Masters win. Congratulations to them. And it didn't come easy either. Jika Massa stopped 25 out of 27 shots from Great Britain. Haiti only had 12. Big games as well for Braymond Diajute and Ainsley Bien-Aimé, scoring 3 points each. So for both of these teams, their tournament is now over. Now let's go over to the quarterfinals. We have 8 teams remaining in the men's division. So let's start off with the first game of the quarterfinal, which is Canada against Bermuda. I had Bermuda as a sleeper pick, but just simply Canada was just too powerful for them to handle. Terry Ryan with a hat trick and 2 assists, and he has 9 points in his last 2 games. Yannick Tifu continues his goal streak, adding another to his total. Jeremy Bishop also gets 3 assists of his own. For Bermuda, Corey Coet does add another goal to his total, as well as Christopher Hans-Jackson, 2 very good players that have really shown for Bermuda, but they were just running into a powerhouse of a team, not much that they could do. So Canada will end up facing the winner in what was a very exciting battle, went all the way to the shootout, and pretty much the most exciting one of the tournament. Italy and Greece, and after a back and forth battle, Greece comes out with a victory, 5-4 in the shootout. Italy did lead the game 4-2 after the second period, but Greece came back with 2 in the third period. The game tying goal and the game winner went to who else? Carl Gingras. Now, to Italy's credit, Jonathan Pulisic and Daria D'Andrea did have strong games for Italy as well. Pulisic ends up with 2 goals, and D'Andrea scores a goal and 2 assists for his team. So Canada will meet Greece in the semifinal. In the meantime, the other Canadian team, Saskatchewan, face Portugal in the quarterfinal. And Portugal does have a good team, but unfortunately, they've just been running into a lot of roadblocks this time around. I do think that they will become a great team in the future, but this was just not their year. Saskatchewan with the 7-2 victory over Portugal. And who else do you have to say? Justin Dontermont with another 4-goal game. That's 2 games in a row that he has done that and boosts his stats to 15 points, which makes it the most of the tournament so far. So with the prospect growing of an all-Canadian final, who is Saskatchewan going to face? Well, that's where we go to United States up against our defending champions, Slovakia. Or should I say, were our champion Slovakia, as the United States dethrones the champions 6-2, and depth scoring came through for the team. All 6 goals came from different players. But of note, Andrew Hildreth got 3 helpers, which contributed to a big part of the Americans' win. So there will be a new champion this year. With the men's quarterfinals complete, let's step away from them and go over to the women's division. Now, Canada does have the day off because they are the number 1 seed. They automatically go to the gold medal game. So we have to settle things in the bronze medal game. United States and Great Britain, the winner of this game, moves on to face Canada. The other team is going home with the bronze. The Americans, well, they certainly didn't make it easy for Great Britain. Some of that depth scoring from the men's team carried over into the women's team, and that gives the United States a 6-1 victory. Again, all 6 goals coming from different players. But just like in the men's game, Tiffany Funt with 3 assists, helping her team to the win. On top of that, the United States was out shooting Great Britain 38-7. Now, Captain Karen Levin said that she is nursing a minor back problem. Now, she did say that her team will be tweaking their style for their game against Canada tomorrow. She didn't go into detail as to what they're planning, but she did say that Canada can expect that they can face a more aggressive American team. So that sets up a Canada versus United States final for the women's division. And we will definitely see if the United States has enough firepower to take down Canada. They have not won a game against them yet. And Canada just seems to have a lot of offensive power. And this has just been one difficult tournament, despite there being only 3 teams in this division. Let's go back to the men's division and into the semifinal, where our 4 remaining teams now battle it out for a chance to play in the gold medal game. Canada is up first against Greece, and once again, Canada bringing their powerhouse offense, and they certainly did not make it easy for Greece. Canada advances to the gold medal game 7-2, and once again, Yannick Tifu adds another goal to his streak. His goal streak now at 6 games, and also brings his point total to 13. That scoring depth continues to be Canada's forte, and there's now only one player remaining on that team that does not have a single point. So whoever is going to face Canada in the gold medal game is really going to have to be looking at all ends of the rink. So now we get to our other semifinal, Saskatchewan against United States. I had a feeling that this was going to be a very tough task. I said it was going to be a tough task for the United States, considering that Saskatchewan is one of the teams that had not lost a game up to this point. So they really needed a standout game. And boy, did we get an exciting one. They were right at each other from the start. Some great goaltending performances. We had some great defensive plays. We had some creative plays. But in the end, United States gives Saskatchewan their first loss, and they will advance to the final to face the main Canada team. Throughout the first period, the United States had the Canadians on their toes with some great goaltending from Carrick Davis, fantastic performances in the net, some highlight reel saves. Speed was also a big factor for both sides. And by the time the third period came around, Saskatchewan was just running out of gas. Brock Harrison and Justin D'Entremont do earn a goal. But for the United States, Andrew Hildreth and Bobby Hauser are the ones that stand out for the United States. Hildreth with 2 goals, Bobby Hauser with a goal and an assist to his credit. And just like last year for Saskatchewan, after a fantastic performance in group play from last year's tournament, they end up with a disappointing finish, and they will have to play for bronze again. They did win bronze last year, but you can't help but feel that Saskatchewan, they were expecting more. So that means Saskatchewan will be in the bronze medal game as they will play against Greece. So that will set up our final for tomorrow, the United States against Canada. Now, before we break down this matchup, let's take a look at how the schedule will occur for today. First off, our 7th place game will occur between Bermuda and Portugal at 11:30 at Arena 2. The 5th place game will be between Italy and Slovakia, which will occur at 13:45, also at Arena 2. Meanwhile, over at Arena 1, our bronze medal game for the men's division will be at 10 o'clock between Saskatchewan and Greece. At 12:30, our women's gold medal game between Canada and the United States will occur at 12:30. And finally, our men's division gold medal game between Canada and the United States at 1500. So now let's take a look at both of these teams in the men's division between Canada and the United States. Starting with Canada, they are a powerhouse, no question about it. They have been racking up the goals throughout this tournament, including a 20-goal performance against Great Britain, which Joey Delgado has been telling me that there's rumors going around that there might be a mercy rule in the future for the tournament. Again, that's not confirmed. That's just a rumor. But for this year, Canada, they bring in Terry Ryan with 4 goals, 10 assists. He's been the playmaker of the team. Yannick Tifu with 6 goals, 7 assists. He's been very consistent and has been on a 6-game goal streak. All of his goals have occurred in each and every single game. Jeremy Bishop with a 6-6 performance, all-around player. He's been scoring at a rate of 2.25 points per game, in the last 4 games. The big strength for Canada has been their scoring depth. As I had mentioned earlier, only one player has had no points scored this entire tournament. But at the same time, I look at their goalie situation. They really haven't been facing enough shots, and Are we facing a cold goalie situation as all of them have been performing under 900? So, is this a case where the United States should be peppering the goalies? We certainly will find out. They definitely worked out against Saskatchewan. Speaking of the United States, there are several players I do have in mind. Andrew Hildreth, who's had a great performance in the semifinal, a two-way defenseman, 4 goals, 6 assists. He had a 2 goal performance in the semifinal. Good pairing with Bobby Hauser with 3 goals, 5 assists. He gets aggressive in his play if you had seen the semifinal. Danny Schlegel, who we've been talking about this entire tournament, and I've been watching from day one. He only has 1 goal, but he's been putting up a lot of plays for his teammates. He comes in with 6 assists. He makes smart plays, and he has been passing well. But one thing that I have been hearing our commentators talk about is Jake Berube. He's been in track and field, so he is a very fast player. And I think that this is something they're going to be utilizing a lot when they take on Canada today. And speaking of the strengths for the United States, I see a lot of aggressive play. They've been going right at their defensemen. They talk about keeping close with their gap control. If you heard Corey Hirsch, he talks about how you need to stay about a stick's length within your check. So keep an eye out for that. And of course, they've been making a lot of creative plays, a lot of highlight reel goals. And maybe we'll see a few fancy ones. But there's one thing that I am just missing out of this team. When you compare the stats from the United States to Canada, it's all black and white. They need a player to become a superstar here. They need someone to go up to the next level, something that will really try to push Canada to the limits here. And it's something that Canada has not really been challenged on. They need to be challenged on their defense. They needed to be challenged in their goaltending. Then they just haven't had enough of that. So expect United States to be playing aggressive in today's final. So that's going to be it for me. Thank you for watching and enjoy today's finals. I'm Daniel Wilson. We'll see you next time.